Hello guys, today we're looking at Star Wars Bounty Hunter. It's really funny, this game I had watched the trailers and the reviews and the previews for it for like a long time, but never actually owned it. But I thought it was so interesting. I thought, oh well, yeah, okay, it's a Jango Fett game. They're kind of capitalizing on, Star Wars Episode 2 and they're kind of, doing their thing, but it's probably not that amazing game. And you know what? It's not a super amazing game, but it is very distinct and fun for the short amount of time you do have it. It's really cool to play as Jango Fett. He has a very limited arsenal, but it feels very significant. The really cool thing about him is that he can dual wield pistols, and so if you hold a button, you can basically shoot in two different directions at once, while also flying with your backpack. It feels like really fun though. I was really surprised by how entertaining this game was and how good it feels. Again, another thing that I was just pleasantly surprised by is the way this game plays out is Jango is basically hired to hunt down Sith. He's basically in debt and he needs to kind of make some credits on the side. And so he covers this kind of story about these people who are hunting down other Sith and other bounty hunters, and you kind of have to pass the test and whatever. And of course, this is how you get recruited into Count Dooku's service, by taking out this other Sith, and that's kind of like the final boss of this game. But for the most part, you're going to have shootouts in places like Mos Eisley, different kinds of, bars and, thug hangouts, stuff like that. I really like this game for its take and its focus on just this one character and this one mechanic. Enemies basically have health bars on top of them, and there is a lot of different mechanics in this game. I mean, just flying around in a jetpack and having a dual pistols is by itself a lot of fun, and I was really again surprised by how fun it was. Throughout the game, you also get different kinds of utilities. One of my favorite being the flamethrower, which you do to also, open up vents and stuff, but you can also use it on enemies. And so if you're in close quarters, it's a lot of fun to just spray this flame of basically napalm and engulf your enemies in this gigantic, AoE. It's a lot of fun, honestly. Of course, you'll get Jango's, backpack rockets, which do come in limited ammo, and you can basically fire that from his back, and they go in an arc towards the enemy and take out a bunch of them, which is a lot of fun and very cool. Another really cool component of the whole bounty hunter style or part of the game that they've incorporated here is that as you're going through these levels, while you're going to your main objective, there will be other characters or other NPCs in the level that will have bounties on them and certain points associated with that. And if they're captured dead or alive, you get obviously more points. And so the way this works is Jango is equipped with his visor. He is able to zoom in and look at certain enemies and determine if they have a bounty on them or not, and how high that bounty is. And once you are looking through the scope and looking at them, you can also tag them, and basically they will appear tagged, out of visor, and then you can capture them for their bounty, which is a pretty advanced, cool thing to do. Something else I really love and adore is Jango's basically handler and dealer is this, I don't know what she is, but the female version of Watto from episode 1. And she's this very surprisingly charismatic character who's kind of like, look, kid, you're going to get in over your head. And she has this, secretary vibe about her. And she's always kind of looking out for Jango and always on the comms and, and stuff like that. And, this is a character I didn't think I would ever end up liking. But surprisingly, it was very well written and charismatic. And of course, Jango is, he's always out for the big pay, the big kind of, payoff and the big win. And so he always takes on the more dangerous jobs. And she's always like, you're getting in over your head, kid. I really liked her. That was a lot of fun. Anyway, throughout the campaign, it's going to take you to different kinds of environments, spaceships, Mos Eisley, jungles, Tatooine, and deserts and things like that. And so you actually get a pretty good variety of different places. There are certain segments where Jango will get different blasters. He picks up different weapons, snipers, and he's going to be using those on the terrain that he's in. I think the one really annoying part in this game, though, is there's one section where essentially you are forced or have to use your jetpack to basically boost around, and you get this sort of super boost ability. But basically, what happens is that you have to pick up these refueling packs, and if you miss one, you basically have to fall down. And if you do fall down, you just instantly die. You don't just respawn. And so it's this very frustrating section where you have to do this platforming, and it's just not fun, and it totally kills the vibe and the mood and everything. Again, there aren't really any collectibles in this game, and even though you get the credits for doing the certain bounties, they just kind of check off a box, and you can't really use those credits or points or anything, which is a huge shame. I think it'd be really cool to have like an upgrade system in this game. But for what it is now, for what we have, it's still pretty decent, I would say. There's also a cool mechanic where Django can, lock onto an enemy, and once he's locked on, he can dodge and move and do a bunch of really cool, nifty moves, basically. Again, the campaign is fairly short, not super long. This is a fun, quick, easy game to pick up and play and to experience. And you know what? It doesn't do anything super amazing, but for the time you spend with it, it's kind of sufficient. And it is really fun for the basic gameplay that it offers. So I'd actually check this one out. It's another pretty good Star Wars game from this era. Unlike other games, like I think the episode 3, the movie was really not super great. But this one was. So please check it out. All right. Bye.